Hey guys, I'm Roget, and this is my companion video rant. You heard it right. This is a part two of the video that I just made. Well, you'll see the one I made, and then this one maybe a day or two after. But there was a couple things I wanted to say in the past video that was in my notes, but I didn't say that I have to say that I'm gonna say, and let's get into it. So, I was in my notes, but like you know me, I'm the ranting Rogan. I got a rant. So, what I want to say about I was talking in the previous video. I was talking about fake money, like fiat monopoly money, and I was giving you some tidbits of information to protect yourself and stuff like that, precious metals, stuff like that. One thing I mentioned in the previous video was that if I could do something differently a few years ago, I would have more cash on hand for buying opportunities and stuff like that, like stock market, stuff like that. And yeah, so getting into it, talking about money. So last video, I talked about fake money, and I held up some bills, and I'm gonna hold up another one. Here we go. Probably my favorite denomination. A favorite denomination. I don't know how many people have a favorite denomination. I don't know how many times you've seen that on YouTube, but this might be the first. So, copyright. I don't know. TM trademark. So anyway, this is just face value. It's not treasure. It's not a fancy serial number or anything. But I talked in the previous video about how this is a Federal Reserve note, and that the Federal Reserve says it's worth $20. So it's backed by nothing, and yeah, it's $20. That's what they say. And this is a green stamp. So if you saw a red stamp banknote, it would be a United States note, and they used to print those, and they were a little bit more sound money, stuff like that. And blue stamps were silver certificates, and then gold stamps were gold certificates. And there was brown stamps for banks of, like Bank of Boston, Bank of New York, or something like that. I'm sure there's other color stamps that I'm not recognizing. But I did make a video a while back about my collection of banknotes. I definitely recommend you go into my channel and check out that video. I don't think it's too long, but I really enjoyed making it. And if you're interested, go check it out and do your own research and look up all denominations that have been discontinued. And I mentioned that in the previous video. So, that being said, the two main points that I wanted to talk about in the previous video that I forgot was CBDCs. And what are CBDCs, Rogan? Well, I'm gonna tell you. So, CBDC stands for Central Bank Digital Currency. And China has been beta testing it now for maybe a year or so. And the Federal Reserve released surveys and polls and stuff like that, on a website, and they're like, "Well, would you accept this?" Basically, everyone uses the digital dollar. It already basically exists because most people's money is digits on a screen, and I'm going to get into why digits on a screen is not the best sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So the Federal Reserve wants to have complete control over the money supply. That is their plan, okay? They're not there to protect you. They're not there to save you. They're not always going to save the stock market. They are, they're for making sure the government doesn't default, and they're for making sure that, the elites have money, stuff like that. So, in the previous video, I mentioned that I would get into conspiracy theories, but that is a topic for another video. So, all the stimulus that we've seen in the past 3 years, where we've got these stimulus checks, they want to put digital money, CBDCs, into your digital wallet, basically, like Fed Wallet app, basically, and it's like programmable money. They want to regulate crypto, but they want to have their own kind of corrupt version of crypto. They're like, oh, well, you know what? UBI is kind of a thing now, universal basic income. They want to control the money supply and be like, oh, well, we'll give you this digital money and we'll continue to devalue it like we're devaluing like this money right now. But what we'll do is like, well, you can't spend it on precious metals. Well, you can't buy certain things for certain countries, and you can't buy certain products, and you can't do this with it. But you can buy you can buy things in the stock market that might not be the smartest thing. You know, it's not entirely out of the question. And everything I just said, I'm not saying it's 100% going to happen, but some people there, that is their vision, that is their future, that's what they want. I'm not saying everyone's bad, but there are some bad eggs out there, and you have to watch yourself. You have to protect yourself. Like I said, gold and silver, two of the most undervalued assets on planet Earth. I've made videos about precious metals, all of their advantages, pros and cons. I'll make another one because I really like talking about this stuff, but that is what I have to say. All right, point one over. Point two is, what was point two? I will look at my notes this time. All right, so let's see. Yes. So, what the next part, basically, how everyone relies on the digital dollar. Basically, it already exists. It's just not programmable enough yet. Is that you know, I feel that the average person isn't really prepared for an emergency scenario or something drastic happening. And what I mean by this is I'm not saying the world's going to end or the sky's falling. I'm not Chicken Little from Disney or DreamWorks or whatever studio made Chicken Little. The sky is falling. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if the grid goes down, our infrastructure is very dated. And the infrastructure bill that passed, probably not going to take another 2 or 3, 4 years maybe to get it fully implemented. The grid is fragile, it's old, and people are over reliant on technology. Most people's money is just digits on a screen. And when I say precious metals, it's real hard tangible assets. You can hold it in your hand, you can get to it in times of emergency. Safe placement of these areas, like multiple locations. I mean, there's so many better videos on YouTube talking about precious metals, but I really enjoy talking about it. But when the scenario goes down, you're gonna want to have cash on hand. I was reading an article the other day that was recommending that you have $2,000 saved in a safe place and not in a bank. But it's important to have it's important to have money in a bank. But you don't want to have all of your eggs in one basket. Just like you don't want to have all of your stocks on one investing app. Same thing. You want to have cash somewhere. You want to have this there. And, so many people are reliant on, I use contactless payment on my Fitbit. I have my cards on my Fitbit, and I have my cards and stuff like that. But, you really feel the weight of the money leaving your hand or your pocket when you actually pay for things in cash, right? And it's really important. And if this, if the grid goes down or an emergency scenario like what happened in Texas a year back with the ice storm, you need to have this type of stuff because if the card machines don't work, what happens? It's like, people have become very over reliant on their plastic and their screens. If there's no internet connection, you can't get your crypto. If there's no internet connection, you can't see your stocks. If there's no internet connection, you can't have access to mobile online banking. But with this, you just have it, and then it's like if you need it, there it is. It's right here. Look at it, right? I'm not crazy, okay? Even though I am ranting and it might sound crazy, but I'm telling you, I'm more level-headed than you think. So it's important to protect yourself in that way, and I wanted to make this video because I care about all my viewers. I care about everyone who watches this video, comments, likes, dislikes. Dislikes are just as important. Subscribing, hitting that bell, it means a lot. It really does, and I feel that this topic is very important. And that one more thing in closing, that I started preparing 3 years ago. And it's important to prepare. It's important to have things just in case something bad happens and you don't know how long the power is going to go out. I had a couple hurricanes, 2013, 2015, where I lost power for a week both times. I mean, if you're not prepared, I mean, you don't know. You got to prepare for the unknowns. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Part 2 complete. I'll see you next time.